before and this is the after. Hello design comrades. Today I'm going to be reviewing a design done by one of us, Ayomide. Right? I told her I was going to give her a recorded feedback about this design. So I asked her to send me the file or the assets, but she sent me the design file, right? So let's go to our training ground. Figma. Okay. So yeah, we have this design here, right? I've looked at it and she did really well. Okay, the way she was able to stay consistent with her color all through and through is impressive, amazing. You see what she did here with the coffee, then different opacity level, amazing, right? How she was able to structure the overall design in this symmetric, yeah, symmetric way. It's amazing, right? But I feel like this design can be better, and we're going to make changes to this design, right? So first thing I noticed when I looked at this design was the bulky text, the amount of text we got on this. Yeah, when you are designing especially a hero session for a landing page, right? um an hero session, yeah, one of the things you want to avoid is to put so many details, right? Okay, it's all to be a journey. You all to tell a story with this stuff. You don't just pack everything in a spot, right? You could actually, this design is going to be extended, so you can look for a way to put some of these contents there if they are necessary, if they are that important, right? Okay, so first thing first, we're going to cut down on the content, right? Too much, too much content, too much content. Say maybe even here. So you look for a way to rewrite this stuff, okay, so it can fit this layout we're about to, create. Another thing I thought of. So one thing I did was I went to I went to Google and I said coffee image, right? And I had a close look of a coffee, and I figured that coffee does not have sharp edges, right? And it got me thinking, what if we can do something to this typography? So I went online and I searched for rounded. For I'm giving you like how I think, yeah. So you can actually see, you can actually relate to my thought process, okay? Because thinking really should go into design more, like you should. Okay, anyway, and I checked a lot of fonts and do all of that. I came across a font called, what is it even called again? Tailwind, right? Okay, and I was impressed with the with the with the, with the structure of the font. It gave me that same feeling I was looking for when I think of coffee, right? Okay. Another thing you we could do to this is to strike more hierarchy in terms of the size. We could create more tension, right, with the design by increasing the font, right? So what we could do is, I see premium coffee blend. This is really important to me, but you see this part here does not like feel important to me. So what I could do is I could actually put it. I could reduce the size of that, right? I could reduce the size of that and say I could even increase this, say maybe +8, add extra 8, increase it to this point, right? I could, your auto layout, right? So sorry I didn't mention that, it's amazing, right? How you did your auto layout was amazing, right? But I'm also going to show you places where you patched your design. But like, of course, I can understand you still like growing in this stuff. Okay, so these two here, I'm going to turn them to auto layout. Why? Because I need they ought to be together, right? So I could make it 8, I could make it 16. Really depends. Okay, say 40, then reduce this to something like this, and you see we can already even fill this stuff, but the spacing between them is just, it's not all to be like that. So I'll play this so we see what we have compared to. Okay, sorry, Figma, don't do this, not now, not now. Okay, I'm going to set Surface Pro. Okay, yeah, change. Right. See what we have already. See how it's looking compared to this. Do you get? Do you get? Don't worry, we're still doing some touches. Okay. So yeah, then what else? I was able to say, okay, coffee. The color here says premium. I don't want to give it. Brown is a very premium and luxury color if you know how to use it. No cap. I'm telling you, feel good, right? You can actually make this whole point like that's brown. DC, DC, like I'm not sure, but like you walk around this, yeah. Okay, so yeah, basically that's it. Then your spacing here was just so we did auto layout for this too. We could do auto layout for this too, make it around like 40, even maybe closer, say 32, right? It's looking too close. Push it out a little, say 40, right? There, you see, we're already having this stuff. Another thing again you violated was contrast to an extent. So I would struggle to see this. If we should do accessibility testing for this, see like the color is not accessible at all. People would literally struggle to see it. So you might as well want to go for maybe a little bit dark shade of that color, yeah? So you see, I just linear and just choose my colors, make it darker a little bit, yeah? So we could do that. Use the same color, just copy it, right? And replicate it for this. Change this here, right? We could actually even change this color to white, right? And it makes sense, and it will make sense. Same as this. I know we are thinking of light mode here. There'll be a way we can walk through that, and it will still give, it will still be giving, right? So yeah, that's that. What else? So this is your line here. I can't really go to it, so I'll just trace it through the frame, and I just pick it out and put it there, that coffee area. But here, thanks to auto layout, they did this absolute thing. If you've done CSS before, you will understand how that stuff works. When you set your this into absolute, it means that it does not respect auto layout. It does not respect the rules of auto layout. It violates it, and you can place it anywhere, right? So that's a thing, right? And what else? Okay, say here. Okay, now this part here, I don't know. There's something off about this part. Having to show the pictures like this is, I don't know. For me, it doesn't cut it, right? We could actually just collapse them more, right? We could even stack this. We could stack this. Say stack it like this, right? But actually, your way is better. Feels better. It feels better. Okay, just leave it like that. And uh, what else? Okay, so now this design, I could tell that this design was not 100%. So when you're designing, yeah, try as much as possible to make your design usable and implementable, right? So when I saw like a lot of coffee stuff scattered around, I felt like, what if you could actually just create different coffee offers, and when they land on your page, they can just pick a particular offer. So with the style you created here, we could just say, uh, uh this angular is not really, I'm not, it's not really giving it, so this could work, right? Or we could even use linear, yeah, and just set from top to bottom, yeah, and you keep that. You see, it's making more sense. Okay, so yeah, I love the way you were able to. I can see that you had it like a form of drop shadow at the bottom. Excellent. But I use the frame. You might want to use rectangle next time. I think you don't want to use a frame for that. Okay. So yeah, you did good. You did really good. You might want to reduce the size, take it off, then maybe bring this further. Or we could even put it somewhere here and and unclip it. to get. So like there are so many ways we can think around this stuff, but of course there's no your layout always could work, but we need to start thinking of, is it implementable, is it functional, right? So we could still work around this, right? So of course touch your colors, make it accessible, right? And yeah, that could work. I think you might want to prioritize the price by increasing the size or something. Just there's not enough hierarchy here. I thought, I don't know whether there's a limit that is not feeling the heat. There needs to be heat in your design, right? There needs to be like heat. I want to feel heat when I'm looking at your design, right? I want to feel heat, serious heat when I'm looking at your design. 11 is a very small size, considering like you, if it's web, 11 is a very small size. So they're going to freaking strain for them to see the details, right? So this thing is already taking time. So basically, just look for a way, increase the size, and you'll be fine. I don't know how you want to do it, but like I would expect another design from you. But like this is really small, right? This is just a review. So like doing all of this, you could just put all of this in a frame, and create a duplicate across, and you already have different offer. So you land here, and boom, people can pick different offer, right? But at the same time, you don't really want to put so much on the landing page. So we already have this. See how good it's looking compared to this, right? So I think I might want to stop here. Then your hero session. I love the way you like. So you did not completely implement your navigation bar well. Of course, because maybe you were not thinking of responsive design. But if you want to do that, you might want to set your child element to fill container, then select, then choose your spacing mode to space in between. Right, so that way, see that way it can happen. Right, so yeah, so something is not right here. This makes sense. Makes sense. Right. So basically, we're good. And I also noticed you used layout grid, so that's amazing. So we could always come here to set that stuff, right? I wonder why this is not snapping. Why this in itself kind of like going outside the grid. Who wants to tell me why? Why that is? Uh, wait, oh, okay. Oh, oh, I mistakenly pressed Control Z, so yeah, it's perfect already. Okay, so yeah, another thing again I noticed was, so I'll turn off the grid, was your watermark behind. So yeah, I kind of like have sharp eyes. So I noticed that that watermark behind is actually blue. What's happening here? What's happening here? If I turn off this color now, it's not showing blue. Why? Because you used difference. And you didn't even use difference in the layer. You entered inside. You entered inside, go and you set it to difference. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, I'm going to show you what's up, right? And I'm going to increase the opacity to 100. So you see what we have here. When you're dealing with image, right? There's no need to do all of these patches, or else you put your design in a very you put your design in a very complicated state where you might even come back next week and you do not know what's going on here, right? So you might want to take all of this away, right, and just focus on this. So there's something called we have all of the exposure, contrast, saturation, tints, highlights, and stuff, right? So you can always come here to actually maneuver your design to where you want it to be. I'm not really like I've not really tried this, but I always look for a way to get to that point where, yeah, that's it, right? So, but in cases where you cannot figure it out from here, what I would do normally, or what I would suggest, is that you see this design here, just create just create an innocent overlay, right? Just overlay it with the color, with your brand color, right? And set the layer to color, right? And the moment you do this, right, like good, okay, then you can, what's the word? You can control the opacity, and you figure that this stuff is still, sorry, okay, I think I'm not really doing justice to this, but yeah, so you can just put color, and you can always control the opacity, but I would suggest you just leave it at 100. Now you can group these two together. You can, sorry, exit. You can group these two together, the overlay plus the what plus the pattern, right? And just take it inside back, right? Take it inside back, send it back to the design, right? Now you can control the overall opacity to say 15 DC. Instead of you patching your design, you just know that okay, it's that simple. There's an overlay. Always name your layer overlay, and that overlay is set to color. Means that you've override whatever color it is to the color you set it to be, right? So now you can actually just, so for that not to happen, just make sure they are grouped together. I would actually even suggest you use a frame instead of group. Yeah, actually, right? Pattern, call it VG, right? Just set it. You can set this inner one here, both of them, to you can set their constraint to scale. So when you scale the pattern behind them, they can always scale along, right? So that way you don't get confused. Okay, set your opacity level to 20 or to 10, and just, or to 5 or to 3 and just lock it and then continue working on your design. Here I'm thinking you might want to push this back. Why? Because you still have a lot of space in your grid. Like you still have a lot of space. The idea is to have a, I want it to be, I want negative space. Alright, like I want my design to be able to breathe. I keep on saying this stuff on my video, right? Allow me breathe. Okay, don't choke it together. Now that way you can actually think of maybe even increasing this font. It really depends so on how much tension you want to cause. You could think of increasing that font. This guy here, you could just do what you got to do. This arrow here, is it pointing here? Is it pointing here? Right? Do you want to control it further? Uh, at least you did this yourself, go. At least you did this. My village people. Something is not right here. Oh, it's inside a frame. Okay. So you can actually control it, right? See? Might not be the best idea. Left to me, I'll just create a very innocent, stroke, right? Very innocent stroke. And just set one of the points to arrow. And I'm fine. And I will increase the opacity. But the only difference between this is that you don't actually get this your stroke effect. This your, yeah. And I'm very fine. And I will just put it here, set it to absolute, and to get, I'm good. I'm good in as much. Yeah. So yeah. But of course, if you understand how node points work really well, you could actually make this thing work. But okay, that's not why we are here. Okay, when you're making, you always reduce the opacity of your second, uh, of more of like secondary text. There should not be like sharp, sharp colors, maybe sharp black, right? It could be brown, but you could just reduce the saturation a little bit. See, it feels good. Like, it really feels good, right? When you do that. You might want to change this NATO to poppins. I actually like this NATO, but it's still giving me these sharp edges, kind of. Ugh, too sharp. Anyway, right. So yes, we have this. The background is still freaking too much. What's going on here? We can reduce the opacity to 1% or 2%. Say 2%. Okay. GC compared to this. This stuff is not in the middle, for crying out loud. Why is that? Why is that? Because the the resize to fit is not on point. So like there was like this stuff here. It was inside, so it was not in the middle. So now it's in the middle, right? So since we already got a color from here, right? We could actually use that color for this same highlight here, right? Could even also make the same use of color for the black. So just highlight everything to that color. Feels better. Okay. And maybe it's not probably a good idea to want to extend your lines more. Like, how did you do this? You stroke. Damn. Wow. Interesting. So we'll set it to the middle. No, like this. Okay. Oh, you stroke. You see what she did here? She made it frame, then you stroke, then bottom. That's new. That's actually really creative of you. Okay, it's already 20 minutes, Bele. My video is always long. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you get the gist. You get the gist. Now it feels better for you to design more like this than you designing like this. So with the point of mine, hope I've been able to convince you that negative space is important while designing. Thinking of functionality and implementation is important while designing. Thinking of contrast and setting your hierarchy right is setting your hierarchy with size, color. Because what I just did here by reducing the the saturation or more of making it subtle, that's hierarchy, right? Me reducing the text of this and making it black, right? We could also even make it the same color, but of course, reduce the saturation. It feels better. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Just try something, right? Try to make it better. And come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So this and this. All right. Thank you so much, Design Comrades, for watching. See you later.
All right. Thank you for watching, and I hope to review more of your designs in the future. Mhm.